Hello everyone, I hope you guys are having a good day. It's March 11th, and today I am back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about this weekend's potentially, maybe even historic winter storm. It's going to be affecting areas of Colorado, Nebraska, Wyoming, and South Dakota, and areas further to the east. And we're also going to be talking about this weekend's severe weather potential, because with this cutoff low, we're going to be having the chance of severe weather in areas of Texas, Oklahoma, up to around Kansas, that area, and over maybe even into areas of western Dixie. And so yeah, let's go ahead and get started with the video. So right now we do have a marginal risk. This is today's day one outlook. We have a pretty large marginal going from northern Oklahoma into southwestern Pennsylvania, and we have less than 2%. The SPC doesn't really expect a tornado threat. We have a 5% wind and a 5% hail in the western part of this. The wind threats in the eastern part of this marginal, and the hail threat is in the western part of it. And then we go to day two. Day two is tomorrow is when it's going to start to get interesting. This is Friday, Friday March 12th, and you can see we have a slight risk in areas of northern Texas, western Oklahoma, and eastern New Mexico. Extreme eastern New Mexico. It's like a little bit of it right there. And then you see we do have a 2% tornado risk in that area. 15% wind and a 15% hail also. So SPC is expecting all threats tomorrow. Tornadoes are not the main threat, though. We don't have a 5%. We don't have a slight risk for tornadoes. I'll just say it like that. We only have a marginal. Because if you have a 5% tornado risk and you don't have like a wind or hail wind or hail risk, then if you have a 5%, that's going to be a slight of 2%, so marginal, and a 10 is a enhanced. But on day three, we have a bigger slight, pretty much in the same area, though, from southern Kansas down into Texas. Cities in this one is Wichita Falls, Oklahoma City, Norman, Wichita Falls, like I said before, and Lawton, Oklahoma. I don't know if I said that right. And I don't think we have any more day to 4 outlooks. Or day 4 to 8, sorry. I can't talk sometimes, but yeah, we can see we have day 4 right there in eastern Oklahoma into northern Louisiana. We have a 15%, which this is for Sunday, March 14th. Now, we're going to start off by looking at the 18Z HRRR run. This is a little bit of an older run. This is from this afternoon, earlier. But it's kind of the best we got with the HRRR for now. For tomorrow, we can go out this Saturday also. You can see, let's just look at simulated reflectivity first. It just shows some storms going off in this area. And several rounds of them also tomorrow. Now, let's go ahead and look at some let's go ahead and look at some ingredients for this and see what we have going on. So you can see dews tomorrow. Seems like our surface low is right to the west. Might have like some kind of dry line feature right here. Look at that. Pretty strong boundary right there. You can see HRRR is indicating it right there. So we're probably not going to get much severe weather in this area if this does happen. Maybe a little bit, because earlier in the day we could have some initiation. We have dews in the 60s though. In areas of western Oklahoma, we have dews almost 70 in eastern Texas, but we're not expecting storms in that area. Maybe some showers, but we don't really have other ingredients. We have severe weather. Let's go to mixed layer Cape first off. And we can see tomorrow afternoon, we do have a lot of Cape in this area. This is mixed layer too, so that's pretty good. We have almost 1,500 in some areas. So definitely not bad. And once again, we can look at some other things. Let's look at surface-based lifted index. I like to look at this. It helps out. Most of the time, it helps out with things like hail, from what I've noticed. See where it can also kind of show you where we have our front. So it looks like we have some kind of boundary right here, maybe like a warm front or a stationary front. A lot of lift in this area. We can see let's take a sounding just right here. And so yeah, this is just a severe sounding. This actually doesn't look too bad for severe weather, not for tornadoes. That HODO looks garbage. And we don't really have strong winds at the surface. We do have some shear, though. We could have, if we had stronger winds, we could maybe have a tornado potential. I don't think you're going to get tornadoes out of this sounding, though. If anything, it's going to be weaker. You can see we have a dew point of 56. We do have decent Cape. Some pretty steep lapse rates, low-level lapse rates especially. I like that look. And possible hazard type is SVR, which is severe, so let's not really look at those though. We can go further east. Let's go into Oklahoma actually. This is a little bit of a better sounding for shear. Still don't really have strong winds at the surface. But you can see we have decent cape. Lapse rates are not as steep at the surface, but still a severe weather potential with that. And yeah, so also we can look at 500 millibar winds real quick. This is we're talking about Friday first off. Then we're gonna go over to Saturday. So we can see 500 millibar winds. We can see once this ejects, this is what is going to be helping to feel our severe weather is kind of, don't really know what it is, drew right there, but we can see we have this. Moving into the plains, our cutoff low or upper level low is back to the west. In front of this, we're going to be seeing our chance of severe weather. Pretty classic severe weather look to this. Not a perfect setup with 500 millibar winds, but does look like if you just look at 500 millibar winds, it looks like this event would support some severe weather, but there's a lot more than just 500 millibar winds. Actually, so yeah, now let's go to composite reflectivity. This is one of my favorite things to do. And we're going to take some soundings in front of where the HRRR has storms actually going. So let's take one right here. We can see this is pretty capped. I don't really like that look. Those surface lapse rates are terrible. Hodo, we do have some decent shear with this though. It's a little we do have a little bit of an enlarged hodograph. Marginal severe sounding, maybe some weaker circulations with that. And then it looks like the main stuff, according to the HRRR, fire maybe overnight. And that's why we have a risk in the eastern New Mexico. Let's take one right here in western Texas. This is a Taurus sounding. We don't really have good shear. We do have stronger winds at the surface, so we do have a little bit of shear, around 30 knots from surface to 1 kilometer and surface to 3 kilometer. And that Hodo is a little bit enlarged right there, so this would actually maybe support a weaker tornado. Or that sounding could support maybe a weaker tornado or two. So yeah, that's tomorrow. Now let's go ahead and go out to Saturday. HRRR doesn't quite go out to Saturday, so we're going to use the NAM for Saturday. Or let's use the NAM 3, actually. I don't really like the NAM 3. I don't use it a whole lot, but we're going to use it in today's video. And it shows a line maybe a line forming in western Texas. We can take some soundings in front of this. Pretty weird inversion right there. A lot of dry air. A drier air slot, or a pretty good looking dry air slot right here. We'll see how that can play into this severe weather. You have a pretty moist thermos right there. And shear on this is actually not bad. And it has a pretty enlarged shadow. It doesn't look messy either. It's pretty straightforward. So, well, I mean, that could maybe do something. And it shows this line maybe disposing a damaging wind threat as it moves further to the east. So, yeah, that's Saturday, really. Not a whole lot to it. We'll talk about it more in tomorrow's video as we get closer to it. But actually, let's take a sounding here. As well, the HRRR tomorrow, so that'd be a lot more helpful. That's my favorite short range model to use. I like the HRRR much better than the AM3. But we can see this sounding up in western Oklahoma still have some shear, and Hodo is pretty enlarged. Marginal Taurus sounding, not so. Yeah, we can see we don't have a lot of instability, and surface lapse rates are pretty bad once again. So yeah, that's the severe weather threat. Looks like we're going to have maybe a couple days of severe weather. Friday looks pretty interesting. Maybe not for tornadoes, though. But it looks like we could have maybe some large hail or some damaging winds tomorrow. In areas of Texas, maybe eastern New Mexico and western Oklahoma. Maybe as far north as southern Kansas. So, yeah, now let's go ahead and go further north, because we are going to be having this significant winter storm this weekend. Let's zoom in on the central U.S. here, so we're going to look at Colorado. Now just watch this happen. So, first off, let's start by looking at dews. So, we have enough cold air in place, and we're going to be having moisture coming over this front. Surface lows in southeastern Colorado. This is Sunday morning, by the way. Moisture coming like this. Our front's like kind of, I guess, probably right there, yeah. And a pretty classic scenario for a big snowstorm in Colorado. This is going to be potentially historic. And we go back to precipitation type here. Let's go out to this weekend. We can see Saturday looks a ton of heavy snow in southeastern Wyoming, maybe western Nebraska. And and central Colorado. And that continues throughout the whole day Sunday and throughout Monday. And that even moves further to the east and goes into Iowa, maybe Illinois. It has trended further north with the GFS, by the way. But we can see definitely some heavy snowfall in this area. Let's take a look at what we could be looking at. Let's go to the Kachera ratio, total accumulated snowfall. Denver, actually, it's been trending a little bit lower, especially to the west. So the GFS that is insane. 150, 160 inches of snow almost right to the west of Denver in the mountains. That is a lot of snow. Now, let's see how the European compares to the GFS with this. Because I know the European and the GFS have been disagreeing a lot. So let's see how the European compares. The European is thinking more like the GFS now. It used to be having a big, heavy snow pocket right here. Doesn't really show it anymore. It only shows about maybe 20 inches in that area. You can see the heaviest snow it has in southeastern Wyoming, where we have around 35 inches in some areas. Locally, maybe almost closer to 40 according to the European. And around 2 feet in the Denver area. It does have snow making it, or higher snowfall in Denver, which that used to be different. The GFS used to be saying that. Now it's the European, so pretty significant difference. We go to the Canadian real quick. It's one of the other mid-range models I use a lot. And we see the Canadian has a lot of snow in central Iowa. By the way, like Des Moines getting a foot. Has 2 feet. 2 feet in the Denver area. Southeastern Wyoming, a lot of snow. I think the bullseye with this could be maybe southeastern Wyoming, kind of northern Colorado, that area. And let's zoom out with this. Let's go to the continental U.S. And let's look at total accumulated snowfall. Actually, let's go back to the GFS here and see, because we could even see snow maybe into the northeast with this storm system. So let's go to the GFS. Let's go to surface and precipitation type. So this was our low that brought severe weather yesterday. That's moved out. And this is our next one. It's going to be bringing severe weather Friday, Saturday, Sunday with this strong upper level. That's just going to be sitting there bringing moisture and snow in. And it weakens as it goes further to the east, but it has been trending towards actually bringing a lot of maybe some ice in northern Illinois, that area. And it has been trending to maybe bring a significant winter storm for the northeast. As we can see, significant snow in New York. The GFS has a storm system bringing. This is around, or actually no, this is not a week out anymore. This is early next week actually, so this is not even that far out. And we can see a lot of heavy snow in the northeast, and then another storm system right after that, which has been trending towards a little bit more cold air from this high pressure in Minnesota. That could also be maybe another winter weather maker. So, very interesting pattern we're in right now. Let's go over to the European and see how that compares to the GFS with this. And the European has actually maybe some kind of clipper combining with that, bringing some snow areas of western North Dakota, Montana, that area. And it doesn't have a significant winter storm for the northeast. We don't really have cold air. This low up here is kind of ruining that. A little bit of snow maybe right when you have that front move in. But then it's just going to switch over to rain for areas like northern Maine. Actually, no, not northern Maine, but most of the northeast. Northern Maine, though, could maybe stay as ice or snow. So, pretty interesting pattern, and that storm system could also maybe bring some severe weather, and it doesn't really have another storm system after that like the GFS. Or actually, yeah, it does. It has our first one swinging up, kind of just disappearing in Canada as a broadening out low, and then it has our second one, and they kind of rotate around each other. So that's kind of cool. So yeah, very interesting pattern we're going to enter. It's still pretty far out, but it looks like the next couple of weeks could be pretty interesting. But that'll wrap up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys for watching the whole thing, and I will be back tomorrow. But yes, bye.